Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you can catch the new spills every week. And don't forget to hit that bell up top so you can join the squad in the comments as soon as a new video posts up. Alright, so let's have a talk about Misty Knight. Now, before I even get into that, if you haven't finished Defenders, you need to go ahead and do that and then come back to this video, because it's going to be spoilers all up in here. I'm just saying. Alright, so that's your disclaimer. So recently we got our first look at Luke Cage Season 2, and in the image we see Misty with her new arm. Her and Luke are in this auto shop probably looking for some answers, and with the liberties that they took in the season finale of Defenders, having her lose her arm differently than the way she did in the comics. Because in the comics she lost her arm in duty in an explosion, which was later replaced by Tony Stark, then after that upgraded by her love interest Danny Rand. And I'm not necessarily saying that's how it's going to go down as far as a love interest, but that's how it went down in the comics. But with the liberties that they've been taking in the season so far, and plus with them mentioning that Danny owns his own hospital, it's a good chance that Misty's arm is going to be a product of Rand Technologies. And aside from that, Stark Technologies is light years beyond this type of design for prosthetic limbs, and we've seen that on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Phil Coulson. And I'm sure her arm will see upgrades in the future, because at one point in the comics it did look like a natural hand as well. And with the upgrades that Danny gave her, she can control magnetism and also exert concussive blasts. But from the looks in this image, I'm sure it's just a Mark 1, most likely for her vice grip ability and one other thing. And the reason I say that there's a possibility that she has another ability with this arm is because by her index finger, it almost looks like there's a red button there. And that may just be the design, but I'm sure they'll probably add a little bit more functionality to it. And once again, like I said, I don't think it's going to do a whole lot, but I do want to talk about some of the things or some of the abilities she had with that arm in the comics. So I mentioned the magnetism already, which she would use to disarm people, and she could also give off a concussive blast, and it was very similar to what we see with Iron Man's armor because it was made by Tony Stark. And through the years she would get different upgrades, and of course eventually Rand Tech would get their hands on it. But her bionic arm was also highly durable because it was made of vibranium and diamond.
I don't care.
But not Wakandan vibranium, it was Antartic vibranium, which simply works the opposite way that regular vibranium does. So instead of absorbing mechanical energy, it produces it, allowing Misty to punch a lot harder on top of that bionic strength. So now just keep in mind, only her arm is bionic. The rest of her body is completely natural, as far as like superhuman stuff. And I say that meaning that with just that one arm, she can't lift something that her back and her legs wouldn't be able to support. So it's not like we're going to see her picking up cars or anything crazy like that. But rather than her just displaying brute strength, she's well trained in hand-to-hand combat, so she's more likely to do something like use somebody's weight against them in a fight with the assistance of that arm to throw them off balance and give herself the upper hand. And in most cases in the comics, that's how you see her use her arm. She's not walking around blasting people all the time because she more so prefers a firearm. And then in most cases what she does use the arm is either for a grip or hitting somebody. And that's mainly it for the most part. I mean, there were a couple of other abilities I had that she would use once in a blue moon, like freezing objects so they're easier to break, or hacking into other devices using a form of technopathic control. But like I said, it's highly likely that we'll just see her use these in some fight scenes and possibly a little something extra on the detective side, but I wouldn't expect them to go super crazy with it. And like I mentioned before with the source material, Danny mainly did the upgrades because, you know, he was her love interest. But even if they don't go that route on the show, I could easily see him continually upgrading her arm as his company makes more strides in their bionics division and they later make her cybernetics look more natural. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about the first look at Misty's arm. Do you think it's too much? Do you think it's too little? Get at me and let me know. Also check out my recent video where I break down the Wasp and her upgrades, and I also explain PIM particle technology and how it works in the comics. But that'll do it for this one. Don't forget to smash that like button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Alright, later.